All right, so we got info. I don't want to call it leaks because they literally gave us the info. The next week we're gonna be having Festival King as our festival. Unless they're baiting us, Festival King will be our festival. Full Winged King, one of my favorite moments in the manga, and I want to give some ideas of what I think he maybe should do, and I want to see what people think of it as well. If you don't know, of course, they literally gave us like a week ahead. Like, by the way, guys, this is who's coming, so be ready. You can already get the tickets and everything. So yeah, I'm hyped. I think that it's one of the best releases they could do, especially because I even made a tweet about it. I think that there's a good chance. I'm not gonna say it's confirmed because it's not. There's a good chance that King is coming now in November, right? Just like the one came in November. So the Holy War character is the person that King fought in the manga, which would be Mael slash Estarossa. So I think it only makes sense that that would be, who comes for Holy War. Mael slash a form of Estarossa could be what's coming. Like Corrupted Estarossa, the Bell could be also a festival. That would, to me, make sense. Just because of, again, last year, we got the one, and then the Holy War was Assault Melee. So it could be. Again, I'm just speculating. They sometimes their festivals make sense, sometimes they don't. All right, so just putting my idea, because if this happens, I'm gonna say I told you, and if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm probably gonna delete the tweet. But yeah, so I put a poll like asking how high people are, and then I'm gonna read the comments to see what people replied, because I also asked what they might want him to do. I'm just gonna vote so I can see the results because I'm in another account on mine. For me, I'm hyped. Of course, I'm summoning no matter what. It's my job, but wow, most people are only gonna summon if he's good. I mean, it makes sense. I feel like that makes sense. 12% are indifferent, and 11% just straight up don't like King, which I find odd. I put that option. I was expecting like 1% of votes. That's crazy. Well, if you don't like King, let me know why. I think King. Listen, maybe you didn't read the manga, all right? Maybe you're just tagging along and you don't actually know the story. King is an absolute Chad, all right? You just didn't know. You just don't know how to read. Maybe. King's an absolute Chad. King transforming. This transformation that's gonna come out next week is literally a top 3 moment in the manga, in my opinion. So, anyways, let me actually talk about, for me, what I want King to do. I mean, for me, it's kind of obvious. I really want him to be a good pair for Miguelda and be a really good team for the Bird, just for the sake of having more than one team, because right now, there's only one consistent, viable team for Bird. You don't have to use the Brynhilder team, but the Gringalfer, Brynhilder, Margaret, Matrona team is the only like real consistent team. You can beat it with other units as well. You can beat it with Kusaki. You can beat it even with the one, but they're not consistent. You're not gonna just out of 10 times beat like 5 of them with those other teams. But with the Brynhilder team, if you get a little bit of good RNG, you can beat it. Just if you have the strategy going. That's like the only like real. I mean, if you have the healing card set, you have a lot more options. You can even use like Red Ascanor. You can use even Miguelda. You have more options if you have the healing card set. But if you don't, like me, you only really have one real, like, consistent option. And I think the game needs more options. So I think I would love that. I would love a unit that would be good for that. But I know what people want. I'm not. Before I read this, so they're gonna want someone to counter Ban, and I mean that's fair. Ban is absurd, right? So I would like to see the suggestions, but like I'm just tired of PvP. Maybe I'm just tired of PvP. I'm not tired of playing PvP. I'm just tired of every single new festival has to be good for PvP. Literally every single one has to be good for PvP, or they have no use. Like again, Kusak is good, but people only really care about PvP on that regard. While he is good for the Bird, no one talks about how good he is for the Bird. You know, they only care about how good he is for PvP. Just an example. Margaret was a very... This is why I really like Margaret's release. Margaret was a unit that came out, and she's good for everything. That's why I like her. I think Lost Veins is a decent example as well. When he came out, he was good for everything. But like, I don't want to say Goddess is not good for PvE, because there's very specific PvE stages that she's good for, but for the most part, she's not really good for PvE. Festival King was good for Anvil farming, and that was it because of his ultimate. Kusuk's decent for the bird, but that's about it. Assault Melee. I mean, he's good. He has no real use case. Like, there's no reason why you'd use him. But, I mean, you can chalk him PvE and he's good. But the real evaluation is PvP, and I think... I don't know, I just would like to see him be good for the bird. Let me see the comments. I'm gonna bet right now that the most voted would be something that counters Ban. Something no matter what, because of side fast units. Yeah, the side fast units are good. Ban, Merlin, and the one will be the side fast units. We got the votes, so. Or I think the... Is it everyday voting? I think the votes are done. It was just one day. I hope he becomes a character based around having other sins get buffed on the field with him. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's actually not a bad idea. That would be good. Like, I've seen a few people get really mad that out of like the releases, we honestly don't get that many sins. Or even 7 Deadly Sins characters in general. Like, if you go look at the releases, right? Megara does not have 7 Deadly Sins character. Then we have the collab. Slayer's not a sin, but he's his character. And then not a sin, not a sin, not a sin. Festival Golfer was a sin, of course. Not even characters from 7 Deadly Sins. Not even a character from 7 Deadly Sins. Sin. Not a sin, not a sin, not a sin, not a sin. Merlin, sorry. She's a sin. But we don't get that many sins. I've seen some people a little displeased by that. That'll be nice. I think that'll actually be pretty nice. Decreases enemies' base HP by 25% and decreases HP increases by 50%. Decreases base HP by 25% is kind of nutty. That would be like nutty for like everything, not just Ban, which I like. Again, like, I like Kusok, but he's very specific, right? He was made specifically for Ban, but he can be used for other, against other teams as well, but like, he was made for that. And I think a more broad character definitely is something I prefer. Skinny Kingbo with HP and remove stance cards. Oh, just so you can cuck Arthur? Okay. I guess not just Arthur, but also Terry, right? I mean, the stance card removal cards are pretty bad. So, like, they'd have to give him a new one. This is status effect, right? No. Oh, here. Skill filter. They're not disable stance skills, these are remove stances. Not disable stances. It's somewhere here. The card that disables or the remove stances is pretty bad, so I wouldn't want him to have it, but maybe anyone. I like to see him get a passive that is good with other fairies. So if they release a secondary fairy king with a lane. I mean, they could, if they would go on that route of making him a good fairy character, a good fairy buffer, they could release a Gloxinia as a side character, and I wouldn't be mad at all about that. King's the only character, some decision hit puberty twice. Listen, second time he hit puberty, he became a Chad, right? More interested in next Holy War Festival, though. I don't see replies if anyone thinks about Asterosin. Yeah. If not, 1-star bombing. Yeah. I'm actually... I don't want to say I'm confident there's going to be Astarosa or Mael, but I think there's a good chance. They need to make one of his skills a Polem Garden Shield with healing plus debuff immunity. Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he should in theory be a healing unit, just given his character in the series. But I would want him to be like, have like a stupid broken healing. Oh, man, they might give him the Terry ultimate. Terry just came out, right? They might give him Terry's ultimate and give like a 6/6 effect on top of it. That would actually be kind of crazy. Just like, Margaret got the 3x crit chance ultimate, and at 6/6 she gets an effect. Doesn't have to be 6/6. I think what we did with Cusack was neat. If they're gonna do an extra effect at all, where at 3/6 he gets the Abyss, right? I think they could do that for King, where he gets Power Strike ultimate, which is broken. If you never use Terry, I'm sorry, you're missing out. This Power Strike ultimate is insane. And then have like a 3/6 effect that, I don't know, lowers HP. Nah, lower HP would be too broken. I'm thinking about, you know, oh, do I want him to just one-shot Ban? But lowering HP would be too broken. I don't know. I'm thinking like they can't make it too stupid, right? Because Power Strike ultimate is already broken. Like Margaret's ultimate, in you know, just looking at 3x crit chance single target, it's not that great, right? It's good. It's most likely going to be a one shot in most units you ult, but it's not Power Strike AoE. It's really not. So whatever effect they would put here would be broken. I would have to think on that, but that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Since that's a formula, I think that'd be cool if they made 3 and 4 star skill combos of forms. Pull him guard and shield plus AoE increase, for example. His ult should be a combo of all the forms. What they could do as well is, you know how in the Tweagle Super Boss, in the second phase, they give themselves like that reflex stance. He could give everyone a reflex stance and full heal them at like a level 3 card or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Don't you have a mix? So the most liked comment about any skills at all were like nerfing Ban, basically. I hope they don't make him blue though. I really hope they don't make him blue. Like, we have too many blue units at this point. Like, they release a new blue unit all the time. Although they just released Tyrese Red. But, just again, looking at past banners here, we only have 3 typings. So repeating the same one multiple times is not that bad. But Kusak, just because Kusak and Ludo or Margaret came out and they were both blue, it's a bit odd to me. For me, either he should be red or blue. He shouldn't be green because Galfred just came out and he was green. So as a festival, I think it makes sense for him to be either be red or blue. I think red. Out of all the typings, I think red is the least used amongst the festivals. I think so. I believe so. The only red festival is Lost Vein. So... sorry, Lost Vein and Ban. I'm blocking Ban out of my head. Lost Vein and Ban are the only red festivals. Who's green though? Is it just Assault Melee? It is. And Gaffer, sorry. Gaffer was recent as well. The most used typing is blue. It should be red or something. Have increased Polem Garden 1 skill. Hope you have a really good passive. Kind of wish him to be a tank. Yeah. Yeah, even if you don't get him, all votes are I either need or could use dupes for. He's talking about the side characters that we voted for. You know, Bond being a side character on the banner, and Merlin as well, I think is great. I mean, the one, you know, the one's the one. He was going to win regardless, but I think Merlin being on the banner is good for people to realize how good Merlin is. I hope he makes Megelda good. Yes! We need that. He needs a healing card set. Yeah, he needs a healing card, and that would actually make Megerda good. Because Megerda's healing card is not that strong. It doesn't heal that much. But it could use 4 cards after. Let's relax, buddy. Let's relax, buddy. You can use 4 cards instead of 3 if 2 or more of them are kings. That would actually be kind of nuts. I don't think they would do that. I think that's too creative for them to do. But I think that'll be nuts. It would have to be like super restrictive. Like, it can only go to 4 cards if the last 2 cards are kings or something. So you're going to always have to use his cards last or something like that. But that would actually be pretty nuts. That's a good idea. Excited. I want him to be a main DPS unit who's good for PvP, PvE. He better not be a debuff or support character. I also hope he's not a debuff character. Debuff characters are not that good anymore. Like, a character that his whole gimmick is having debuff cards is just not that good. Like, in terms of, you know, the meta. Like, this Merlin just came out and her whole gimmick is shock. And that's just god-awful. She's a god-awful unit because of that. While the other Merlin, right? The reason why this Merlin is good, even though she does have debuffs on her, is because that's not her whole gimmick of having the debuff cards. The whole gimmick is she uses 2 cards, she attack seals. But she has a DPS card, which is one of the highest DPS cards in the game, especially if you just do it turn 1, right? Like, the flood effect is huge. So she has a stupid good DPS card, and at the same time she can attack seal with that card as well. So that's this is why this Merlin is supremely better than the other one. I think that, you know, if they repeat the mistake of the other king, because debuff cards also aren't good for PvE, because difficult bosses can't be debuffed either. So, hope so. His passive should have similarities to the one with debuff removal. Each time he uses a debuff, skill increases all basic stats for 5 turns. I actually think that having a similar passive to the one's not that bad, because the one's passive can really help you from time to time. Like, a lot of times when you're using the one, and the enemies, especially if the enemy is using a debuff team, like Green Galfer or Emilia team, if they're using Ban, yikes for you, but like, if they're using a team like that, you can time it so that you get the ultimate the moment you actually are immune, so they can't do anything to you. They can't seal the ultimate, or they can't freeze you, they can't stun you. It's a good pass. Again, in this meta, it's kind of pointless because the best team in the game is Ban and he doesn't use debuffs. But when you do face someone that does debuffs, that's good. So I think oh, this is, why is it sorting by likes? It is sorting by top comments. But there's like so many comments with no likes, and this is 1 in 17. Skill 1, multiple Shastafold forms. That'd be pretty cool. 300 power strike on all enemies. Ooh, power strike AoE, huh? We don't have a power strike AoE card, I don't think. Do we? I'm clicking the wrong bro. I swear to God, I'm clicking everything wrong. Power strike right here. Single target, single target, single target ultimate, single target ultimate. No, single target, just regular card. Single target, AoE ultimate. We don't have a power strike card. That's AoE. He could have one. That would be crazy. That would be crazy, and I think that would make sense with actually King as well, like being AoE and stuff like that. Removes all debuffs, grants debuff immunity, and heals through 50 of attack of all allies. You know what? I think being a festival, they could go even further with this healing. What if his healing also gave all allies extra 20% damage increase and damage reduction? Doesn't have to go like 50 like Margaret, because that's a dedicated card. I'm saying like 15-20%. I think that would make sense. Like level 1 gives like 5%. I think that would be pretty nice. Deal 700 flood. 3/6 in effect, which disables buff and debuff skills for 1 turn. And 6/6 for 2 turns. Flood on all enemies. See, I really want him to have Terry's ultimate, but flood is also stupid good, right? Do we have a flood AoE? Flood's single target. Forgot what he does. No, he does a flood AoE attack, but not a flood AoE ultimate. Flood single target, flood single target. Flood single target as well. Same ult as Sigurd. We don't have a flood AoE ultimate either. A flood AoE ultimate, or a power strike AoE ultimate, could be very broken. So these are some speculations for Festival King. I'm excited. I hope that he's good. Because, I mean, honestly, all festivals are good. Holy Wars have been what people consider to be the more disappointing ones. I still think, Holy Wars are good. in their own right. They just aren't. When a Holy War comes out, except Margaret, but Margaret shouldn't have been a Holy War. Margaret should have been a base festival. Margaret came out, right, and then Kusar came out, and they were both Holy Wars. It made no sense. Margaret should have been a regular festival, and Kusar should have been a Holy War. It made no sense. Other than Margaret, no like Holy War has like been like really game changing. I would say even Assault Melee. When Assault Melee came out, he wasn't meta, right? And none of them will. While every single festival that's came out was meta when they came out. Every single one, except Goffer. Goffer is not meta because of Bond, because of Holy Relics. Holy Relics really cocked Bond, but we'll see how they will go with King, and that's it.